I've just been playing the new demo for Super Woden Rally Edge, the third in the Super Woden series, officially kind of called a spin-off title rather than a fully fledged number 3, and it's all focused on rally and crucially changes from an isometric perspective from Super Woden GP1 and 2 to a chase cam perspective for this Rally Edge experience. It somewhat removes some of its USP as a result of that, because it's not giving that late 80s, early 90s up and down the screen isometric switching the controls perspective. But I'm here to say, having played the demo for the last hour, it totally works, and this still feels as fun and engrossing and challenging as the previous 2 entries in the series. It just feels slightly different. Now, in the demo, you get to play across 5 stages, different environments, but they all handle the same, because it doesn't matter if you're on snow, dust, concrete, the handling model is consistent. It's more about whether you're on the road and the main path or off it, because the grip soon goes as soon as you're off that main path. And one of my only critiques that is negative in the demo is the time limits to get across the stage are incredibly tight. And so if you don't get really in touch with being able to Scandinavian flick the car around all of the tight corners and keep it floored and pinned as you go through the gentler curves, you're going to find that actually you're crossing the line with 3, 2, 1 seconds to go, and the AI opponents that you're apparently racing will outshine you, and it will take a few goes to get used to it, even for someone that is very competent with the Super Woden handling model, which is already quite extreme and nuanced. If you've never played the Super Woden games before, but you're coming to this, be aware that your cars flick in a way that feels heavy and lazy, but very on the nose at the same time. It's such a dichotomy of trying to explain that it's heavy but responsive. And so the weight of your car kind of skids you around and makes you lose momentum, because it then struggles to get the grip to get on the accelerator much quicker again. And so you're always having to balance this. Do I come off and brake and try and do much more of a rigid turn? Or do I just try and hoon it round as best as possible and try and maintain the minimum speed as high as possible instead? And that's the real playoff that you'll have with Super Woden just in general. But with the tight timescales and the AI opponents that you're apparently racing, they're pitched quite hard, so you're going to look like you're going to fail quite a lot. And I could see that on the online leaderboards, because you need to pass each stage and hit that time deadline so that you can then see the next stage in the demo. And you can see like a couple of hundred at the beginning, and then it's down to about 60 or 70 by the time you get to the end. So, and I was punching in, I think at the time I'd finished playing the demo, I think I was 13th best in the world, and a couple of those I was only getting over the line by like 6 or 7 seconds to spare. So I feel like it's going to be tight for a lot of people, and maybe there needs to be some relaxed nature around trying to hit the end. It's the only critique that I have though. The graphics hold up really well from this chase cam perspective. There's lots of different helicopter views that you can go up and down to depending on what you prefer best. In the full game, it will have local multiplayer split screen for up to 4 players, which I think will be fantastic. And there's going to be a photo mode, and you can still buy, sell, and upgrade and customise your cars. What seems to be here, though, is instead of having different manufacturers through like different types of racing that you'd have in GP1 and 2, this seems to be erring more towards eras potentially as well as manufacturers. So yeah, some really cool designs, and the cars do genuinely handle different. I played around with a couple of them, and the top speed versus turning is really crucial, and it blatantly lends some rally stages towards one car more than another. And I think that's something that this game has got right really well, because quite often choosing a car is much the muchness, but you can really choose something that suits your play style and leans into your strengths so that you can perform a competitive time. I'm really excited for this. I don't know when it's coming to release, but yeah, if you was worried about that change from isometric to chase cam perspective, don't worry, it works totally fine. You can wish list Super Woden Rally Edge out on Steam now, and you can join me by buying it on day one, because that's what I'm going to be doing. Take care.